right, here we go. We're gonna take a look at this updated website. Good job. Okay, clicking on it, making sure I'm at the latest and greatest. Um, I can see that, yeah, you have centered Maine now. Everything last time was pushed over. Um, I take it there's supposed to be some kind of text right there, and there is text right there. It's just a little hidden, isn't it? And I think it's because of this guy right here. This thing, I don't know where you got it. Let's see, what are you using? Slideshow. My slides. Okay. So here's the issue. Sometimes you get, so I don't know where you got slideshow container and stuff. You obviously found it on the web. Good job. Good, you know, getting resources from everywhere. But sometimes they don't always, the parts and pieces don't work with the other parts and pieces. And so there's a conflict. And I think that's what's happening here. Looks like Maine is just getting shoved underneath um, the header. And instead of being able to read the text, we can't see that anymore. So it's driving me a little crazy. Probably you too. So here's one thought. You don't have to do this, but there is this template out there that I made available, and that's this Copper Summit template. And the reason I said you might want to consider is because all the parts and pieces that you're going for are working with a responsive slider in this case. So, you could have a header, you could have a nav bar, you could have the responsive slider just the way you want it, and then you could have main, and then inside main you could put some text, or you could show little pictures like this, and you could have a footer. And here's the parts and pieces. You can hack it up as you want. So you may want to start there and make your life a little easier. Okay, it's web design is never walk in the park, but um, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So here's another choice. Just get rid of the just get rid of the you know interactive slider altogether. Instead, give me one solid picture that doesn't go away. And it's just going to stay there. That's fine. Why? Because you can switch it out in 3 different pages. Show me the 3 different big images, and it'll still work. Obviously, this is working great. Your navigation is great. That's centering. Your footer it needs a little more padding at the bottom, padding at the top. But that's working. These guys, they still bug me because, I want text to be live text, and I want the picture to go from this edge all the way to this edge. So I want them to be bigger. And I want your text to be over here. And, yeah. So you could do that. You got this. Um, and as I click on these, one thing I've noticed, see how it comes down? It's like, I wonder, is this... Make sure your header has width 100 float left. Your footer does too. And main just doesn't have a float on it at all. Okay. Well, we'll get that. We'll get there. But I noticed as I get to these other pages, I can't, I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere unless I go back. And then if I go, and you may want to show one picture. I take it that the ones in this nice teal are the ones you've already been visited to. Wow, we've been to a lot of the similar places. But maybe put a picture, or maybe put the ones you've visited and places you intend to go over here, so you use the space a little bit better. Travel tips. This is looking good. Of course, you remember from typography, we don't want line links over 72 characters. So I would encourage you to find a way to break this into 2 parts, or make it shorter and have a great big picture or something like that. And does purchasing flights have anything to say? No, but obviously it's coming. And again, I'm kind of stuck, so we'll get there. All we want is 5 pages, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I take is about me the home? No, it's not. Okay, so home 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So okay, all you need is really one more. Okay, so let me see. Go back to your list. JavaScript on the whole thing. Well, my suggestion is to use the template. Why? Because the JavaScript's already built into this whole thing. I got the JavaScript in the head portion here, and I've got all the links to the JavaScript and jQuery there. I've got all the files, and you just download it. I'll send you the link if you want it. Okay, number 2, changing elements with the text over images to the homepage so they adapt to media screens. Yeah, well, I think you must be talking about these in particular, because if I change it, they change by getting smaller. I certainly think you'd have a lot more control if you had text on one side, picture on the other side. And then we could choose to stack them, and that would give you a lot more control over them. So that would be a suggestion. If that's not what you're talking about, write back to me. Let me know. Having the photo fit the main page about me. Yeah, that is driving me crazy. I guess I just got to look at the properties. So let me see. I got this inspector here. I don't know if I click on this. It says this is an image inside div portrait, and I want the settings, the CSS settings for div portrait. Come on, pull up. What are they? Okay. Height, auto, width, that, float, left. Okay, well, and they're sitting inside main. What's the settings for main? Auto, max width, good job. Width 90. So yeah, why isn't that? I don't know. I would just suggest portrait, put padding bottom, 55 pixels. Try something like that to push it down. Or we could try actually doing that on this text, which you don't have in a box. You could make a special box just for this text over here. Hello, growing up. And that you could add some padding to, and that would force it down. So, other than that, I don't know. I don't know what's holding it back right now. But there you go. You got div and the end div. Yeah, try putting this in a div class too, and just make all this text in just call it text box 1 with the number 1, no spaces or anything. And then give it very similar properties to your picture. Of course, the width will be different, and you got to be thinking about, maximum 100 in that space and how they fit next to each other. Make sure they both float, and then add some padding to the bottom, and I think we won't have this issue. Okay, so those are your 3 questions. Those are my 3 suggestions, because I don't know if I could just solve it, but I'll give you my best guess as to what step to take next. Okay, if you get stuck, let me know again, or if something doesn't make sense, let me know. All right, thanks.